Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It was so fun to watch you take in that first part of that video, and then everybody's doing this during the second part of that video. So, joy. Joy. What is joy? Where does joy come from? And probably the most important question, how do I get it? How do I find it? We've been talking about joy here at the Bridge for the past 3 weeks in our summer series called A Beautiful Mind. And I knew as soon as we kind of settled on this theme, this topic for our summer, that I wanted to tackle it in our Enter experiences. I wanted to wrestle through this same theme, this idea of joy. Why? Well, because if I'm honest, and I try to be, I have a hard time with joy. Joy is not my default. It's not my natural. For those of you who know me, you're going, yep. And what I've realized, what I have come to realize, what I know is true about me is that my joy or my lack thereof is directly linked to my trust. When I'm trusting, I am finding joy. When I am not trusting, I am not finding joy. Do I trust God with all the pieces of my life? Do I believe that it's all safe in His hands? Do I believe that He has my best in His mind? Is He sovereign? Is He really in control of all of this stuff that just overwhelms me at times? And the answer is the root of our joy. So tonight I want us to spend some time thinking about how our joy is dependent on our trust. As far as joy goes, there are three kinds of people. There are those who live in the world of light, in the world of happy, right? All the time. Not a care in the world, oblivious to or completely ignoring the pain and the suffering and the stuff, the craziness all around them. There is a time and a place for that kind of joy, but you can't live there, right? Then there are those whose life is that old school country song. Not the new pop country, but the girlfriend gone with the pickup truck and the dog, and the tear in your beer and all of that. So the old school country song, right? They live in the dark. Their life is always a crisis, and if there isn't a crisis, they'll make one. They'll find one somehow, some way, right? They're stuck in the dark, controlled by fear and controlled by doubt. And then there's this third kind of person who's lived in the light of joyful oblivion and is now walking through the dark reality of everyday life with open eyes and open hands ready to receive what God has for them. They're learning the lesson of trust. They're learning what it means. They're learning that God really does have their best in mind, and they're letting the light of joy transcend the darkness that's around them. The darkness isn't gone. They just know that they're called to be light. So which one are you? Well, again, if we're honest with ourselves, I think we admit that we spend a little bit of time in all three of those places, right? I know I do. So how do we get to the place where we spend the majority of our time living in the kind of joy that transcends darkness, that allows us to live in the kingdom of light? Philippians talks about joy being the result of a disciplined mind, right? That's kind of where we've gone with our series this summer. But good choices are also a source of joy. Good friends are a source of joy. Good kids are a source of joy. Good music, source of joy. Playing really good music with one of your kids, which I get to do tonight, is a really big source of joy. But tonight, I want to go all the way back. All the way. We're going to do Christmas in July tonight. Okay, we're going to go all the way back to the incarnation. What did the angel say? I bring you good tidings of great. Say it again. I bring you good tidings of great joy. Joy is a gift. Cam's with us. He's going to share a little bit about this idea of joy, not just coming from a disciplined mind and choices, but this idea that joy, like grace, is a gift from God to us. I love Psalm 33. It says, we're depending on God. He's everything that we need. What's more, our hearts brim with joy since we've taken for our own his holy name. Love us, God, with all you've got. That's what we're depending on. Love us with all you've got. That's what we're depending on. So this is Enter. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. I hope and I pray that this time is a time where we can reflect, where we can think, where we can open our eyes and our hands. I use those verses from Psalm 42 a lot when I talk about Enter. When we come into this space, anytime, but when we come into this space, Psalm 42 talks about emptying the pockets of our lives. God already knows what's in the pockets. He knows the stuff we carry around. He knows all of the responsibilities, all of the junk. And he wants to lead us to joy tonight. So let's pray as we begin, can we? Father, thanks for times like these, times that we can set aside, that we can remember what you've done. We can revel in your grace, your mercy. We can regain our focus and our center. We can reveal what's inside of us. And we can renew our sense of hope, our sense of joy. Father, as we come tonight, we empty the pockets of our lives. We know that you are here. We know that you are with us. And we thank you so much for this time that we have together.